what I'm going to talk about is could be second nature to a lot of businesses out there, but we find that that actually some of the basics are often forgotten. So some of the basics of marketing, because obviously that's what we do. But a little bit about Carswell Gould, just to give you a bit of background on why we're here and why we're talking about this. So we're an agency of around 30 years old. We've been based in Southampton all the time, multi-award winning, based in Southampton, and there's a list of stuff at the bottom of what we do, but we're an integrated marketing communications agency. We're probably best known for the kind of work we do for some of our large kind of blue chip clients, so the likes of Marks and Spencers and Suzuki, EOC, Rentokil Initial. They're our kind of big corporate clients that we work with, but innovation and entrepreneurship has been something that really is our kind of our cause behind what we do. We're passionate about that community, and we're passionate about using the skills that we apply to these big corporates and applying those to the small kind of startup businesses and giving them every chance they have to succeed. So we work with the likes of Set Squared. We helped to launch the Seraphim Space Camp, which is an investment opportunity as well, or a funding opportunity. Things like the Geovation Hub at Orbit Survey we've worked with, but also startups. So lots of startups we've helped to launch and grow. So the likes of the Old Bond Store, Kelder Technology, Immerse Studios, the list goes on, and we are really passionate about that. So one of the reasons why we're a founding partner of Venturefest South. It's something that we really believe in, and at the moment we think that actually supporting this community is the best chance that UK PLC has to get up and running and recover from the current situation. So what I'm going to talk to you about very briefly is some of the top tips that I have for startups in terms of marketing. So just a few top tips. And marketing is a really, really important thing to do, and actually applying that to the startup community, because startups are kind of born out of a passion that the founder has for the product or the service that they're bringing to market. So we saw, Kate talking about something that was very close to her heart when she launched it. And, brilliantly, Kate is a natural marketer. She's been really successful in the marketing side of things. So I think that has helped to fuel what she's doing. But a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people lack that kind of basic marketing knowledge. So they've got this brilliant idea, this brilliant service or product. They've identified that there's possibly a gap in the market for it, but they're not able to take that first step into marketing. We also know that there's a crazy stat that last year there was a business launched in the UK for every minute of the year. So it's a huge amount. And in the southeast, I think 65% of the workforce want to start their own business. So there's a huge demand for this. But sometimes a simple idea isn't enough. So some eye-watering stats about success and failure. So 20% of startup businesses fail in the first year. So it's really quick. And 60% will fail in the first 5 years. So that's something that we believe, and we know that marketing application and knowledge will help to achieve a greater level of success. And there's a Forbes survey that was out recently that saying that mentored startups grow 3.5 times faster and raise 7 times more money. So some of those fundamental kind of business knowledge, know-how elements make a big difference in success or failure for startups. I'll talk to you a little bit about the Launch and Grow bootcamp that Ed mentioned very briefly in his talk a minute ago. A little bit more detail about that at the end of my talk. But what I'll go on to now is talk about these top tips. So, tip 1 is know your market. Again, it seems blatantly obvious, but sometimes that passion just railroads people into bringing something to market, and they don't fully understand who their audience is. So actually applying a bit of time and taking your time to understand your market, who they are, where they are, what's important to them, and doing things like we do a lot of work with persona workshops, and that is simply creating pen portraits of the key groups of people that you're targeting your offer at. So actually detailing out, who they are, what emotionally, what's going to drive their buying decision, how they consume their media, how they get their information, what they're likely to be influenced by, all of those things. Then you can start building your marketing around that real insight and things that aren't just driven by what you think is the best way of doing it, but what your target market is actually influenced by. So the really key thing is getting to know your market, spending time up front to do that and detailing that out. Other business techniques like SWOT analysis and competitor analysis and all those things are really, really key parts of getting that business going and getting your marketing right. The next top tip is first impressions do last. So this is another kind of obvious one. So it's when people go to interviews, they say, wear the right stuff, put a suit on, make sure that you're giving the right impression. It's the same with your business. So make sure that what you're saying and how your brand is reflected is in the very best way. So if you're in front of an investor, make sure that your presentation looks slick. You've got your key messages laid out. You're actually saying the right things. When you're given that opportunity, it looks right and it sounds right, and everything you're saying is ticking the boxes for that investor. So spend some time on your presentation, the look of them, what it says. Don't try and say too much, but make sure you get those key things across on what you're doing. Okay, so the next top tip, if I can use my slides, is tune your channels. So this is something, again, for those of you that are marketers, it should be second nature, but a lot of people starting businesses, it's not necessarily. So make sure that we talk about owned, earned and paid channels. So all of these are aligned. So owned is your own real estate, your social media channels, your website, things like that. Your own stuff is when you've got an opportunity, when you're launching something new, or when you're saying something that's different or interesting, then there's a huge opportunity for press and PR. So target that to the media that your audience is going to be consuming, and make sure you use those opportunities to get that out there. And then paid is any paid advertising, essentially. So that's the one that probably most startups will struggle with the most, because it could be an expensive thing, but there are lots of opportunities to really, really target your activity using the channels that you've got. It might be, if you're a B2C product, then something on Facebook and targeting it that way, or B2B, it's a LinkedIn thing, and then use obviously Google search and display advertising as well. You can be incredibly targeted and get right to the audience that you want to get to. But make sure these things are all attuned. So every touch point that you have with your audience is saying the same thing. It looks the same. It feels the same. It triggers the same emotive response, and helps to get you into that consideration phase as well. So the next top tip is get connected. So I'm probably preaching to converted here, because you're all here at Venturefest South. A lot of you are from partners of Venturefest South, or investment funds, or you're all on board with this whole get connected message. But for a startup that is launching their product or service into the big wide world, there are huge opportunities here to speak to people and get involved in groups. So in the region, there's people like Hampshire Chamber and the Southampton Chamber, business groups that will help you talk to other businesses, other SMEs, potential clients, potential suppliers, potential customers. So get involved with them. Look at the likes of Business South and the city bids as well. So most of the cities in the region have a bid. If you're based in there, then you could be connected with a huge number of businesses there. Obviously, innovation engines like Venturefest South and Innovate UK and the Knowledge Transfer Network, they're desperate for startups, people like yourself, to succeed. So they have huge. We've seen on the chat that there's lots of funding opportunities, but also lots of knowledge opportunities as well, and lots of ways to connect people. The Knowledge Transfer Network exists purely to connect people. So get involved with those, seek those people out, and they will bite your hand off to offer you information. And obviously, we heard from James at the start of everything today. The Solent LEP is designed to fuel businesses like yours and give you funding opportunities. The Growth Hub is a brilliant resource, and so if you scroll back through the chat and see those links that Sophie put up there, there's bound to be a funding opportunity for you and your business. So use those opportunities and get connected and really make the most out of that, because they want to work with you. They want to give you money. So do that. And the final tip: launch and grow. So launch and grow is a way of accelerating your growth, and so joining an accelerator program is kind of the tip for the top 5. But this is the way of talking to you about this. We at Carswell Gould, this is a Carswell Gould production. We launched the Launch and Grow Bootcamp today because we're passionate about startups. We're passionate about helping small businesses. Well, in the first instance, launch, but also get to the next stage of their growth. And we believe that marketing is a key component for doing that. And as I was saying earlier, a lot of startups, they're just thinking about, okay, I've got this great idea. What do I do next? I've produced this product. How do I get it to the market? So the whole aim of Launch and Grow is to put an injection of brand marketing expertise into these startups that need it. So it's a program over 5 months that gives you the tools and the know-how to do that. We talked about how we would structure this and how we would get businesses to find it easier to get on this. And sometimes these kind of initiatives have a big price tag, and if you go to a consultant, they'll charge the earth for this kind of thing. And really, if we totted up all our time and charged our normal rate card price, it could be prohibitive for a small startup business to do it. So that's why it sounds like a marketing ploy, but the 75% discount, we wanted to help businesses that Venturefest South is helping, businesses in the region. So and we didn't want to make it free. It's not going to keep our kids in shoe leather doing this. It's really something that is our cause and something that we want to support. So there is a small fee, even with the 75% off, but it's really just so businesses can show their commitment to our commitment to help them grow. But it's a brilliant opportunity and at an affordable price. So check out launchandgrow.co.uk. If you think it's of interest to you, think it's of relevance, just put your details in the form at the end of the page, and we'd love to hear from you.